Hello and welcome to this special video on 3 of the most iconic villains in the DC Comics universe. The Joker, Lex Luthor, and Darkseid have been tormenting the heroes of the DC Comics universe for decades, and today we're going to take a deep dive into their origins, powers, key moments, and weaknesses. From the Joker's anarchic sense of humor, to Lex Luthor's cunning intelligence, to Darkseid's godlike powers, these characters are all unique and fascinating in their own ways. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the dark side of the DC Comics universe. Lex Luthor was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the same writers who created Superman. He first appeared in Action Comics number 23, published in April 1940. In his first appearance, he was portrayed as a brilliant scientist and inventor who becomes envious of Superman's powers and decides to use his own intellect and resources to defeat the Man of Steel. Over the years, Lex Luthor has become one of the most recognizable and iconic villains in the DC Comics universe, constantly scheming and plotting against Superman and the other heroes of the DC Comics universe. He has been portrayed as a megalomaniacal businessman, a mad scientist, and a power-hungry politician, among other things. Despite his many transformations, Lex Luthor remains one of the most dangerous and cunning villains in the DC Comics universe, constantly seeking new ways to destroy Superman and further his own interests. Lex Luthor does not have any superhuman powers. He is a highly intelligent and resourceful individual, who uses his intellect and vast wealth to carry out his criminal schemes and defeat his enemies. He is a master of technology and has developed a wide range of advanced weapons and machines to aid him in his battles against Superman and other heroes. He is also known for his charisma and leadership skills, and has at times used his wealth and influence to gain political power. Despite his lack of superpowers, Lex Luthor is a formidable opponent. He is a master strategist and manipulator, able to use his intelligence and resources to outwit his opponents. He is also depicted as being physically fit and highly resilient, capable of surviving injuries and dangerous situations that would kill a normal person. Through his cunning and resourcefulness, Lex Luthor remains one of the most dangerous and persistent villains in the DC Comics universe. The Donnie work. Darkseid Comics Origin. Darkseid is a comic book character created by Jack Kirby, and first appeared in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134, published in November 1970. He is the ruler of the planet Apocalypse, and is one of the most powerful and feared beings in the DC Comics universe. Darkseid is depicted as a god-like being, with immense physical strength and the ability to fire powerful energy beams from his eyes, known as the Omega Beams. He is also capable of time travel, teleportation, and has a wide range of other cosmic powers. Darkseid is often portrayed as the archenemy of the Justice League and is known for his quest for the anti-life equation, a formula that would allow him to control the minds of all living beings in the universe. Over the years, Darkseid has become one of the most recognizable and iconic villains in the DC Comics universe, constantly scheming and plotting against the heroes of the DC Comics universe. Despite his immense power, Darkseid is often depicted as being driven by a desire for ultimate power and control, making him a formidable and relentless opponent for the heroes of the DC Comics universe. The Donnie work. Powers. Darkseid is a god-like being with immense physical strength and a wide range of cosmic powers. Some of his most notable abilities include Omega Beams. Darkseid is capable of firing energy beams from his eyes that can destroy anything in their path. The beams can also teleport their targets to another location or another dimension, making them a powerful. Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's biggest weakness is his immense ego and arrogance. He often overestimates his own abilities and underestimates his opponents, which can lead to his downfall. Additionally, Lex Luthor's reliance on technology and reliance on his intellect can sometimes lead to him being outwitted by more cunning opponents. The Joker was first introduced in Batman number 1, published in April 1940. In his first appearance, he was portrayed as a criminal mastermind who referred to himself as the Clown Prince of Crime. The character was created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and Jerry Robinson and has since become one of the most recognizable and iconic characters in the DC Comics universe. Over the years, the Joker has been portrayed in many different ways, ranging from a comedic trickster to a sadistic murderer. Despite his many transformations, the Joker remains one of the most dangerous and unpredictable villains in the DC Comics universe, constantly challenging Batman and the rest of the heroes of Gotham City. The Joker doesn't have any superhuman powers. He is a highly intelligent and resourceful individual who uses his wit and cunning to manipulate those around him and carry out his criminal schemes. He is a master of disguise and has a vast knowledge of chemistry, which he uses to create dangerous toxins and explosives. He is also known for his sadistic sense of humor and his utter lack of empathy, making him a dangerous and unpredictable adversary. The Joker's most notable weapon is his Joker toxin, a deadly chemical that he uses to kill his victims. He is also often depicted as carrying a variety of other weapons, including knives, guns, and other improvised weapons. Despite his lack of powers, the Joker remains one of the most dangerous villains in the DC Comics universe, due to his intelligence and willingness to use violence to achieve his goals. The Joker, while the Joker is often depicted as being highly intelligent and cunning, his biggest weakness is his unpredictability and lack of a clear motivation. This can make it difficult for Batman and other heroes to anticipate his next move and defeat him. Additionally, the Joker's disregard for his own safety and tendency to put himself in harm's way can sometimes lead to his downfall. Darkseid is a comic book character created by Jack Kirby, and first appeared in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134, published in November 1970. He is the ruler of the planet Apocalypse, and is one of the most powerful and feared beings in the DC Comics universe. Darkseid is depicted as a god-like being, with immense physical strength and the ability to fire powerful energy beams from his eyes, known as the Omega Beams. He is also capable of time travel, teleportation, and has a wide range of other cosmic powers. Darkseid is often portrayed as the archenemy of the Justice League and is known for his quest for the anti-life equation, a formula that would allow him to control the minds of all living beings in the universe. Over the years, Darkseid has become one of the most recognizable and iconic villains in the DC Comics universe, constantly scheming and plotting against the heroes of the DC Comics universe. Despite his immense power, Darkseid is often depicted as being driven by a desire for ultimate power and control, making him a formidable and relentless opponent for the heroes of the DC Comics universe. Darkseid is a god-like being with immense physical strength and a wide range of cosmic powers. Some of his most notable abilities include Omega Beams. Darkseid is capable of firing energy beams from his eyes that can destroy anything in their path. The beams can also teleport their targets to another location or another dimension, making them a powerful weapon in Darkseid's arsenal. Immortality. Darkseid is virtually indestructible and has been depicted as being nearly immortal. Teleportation. Darkseid is capable of instantaneously transporting himself and others to any location he desires. Telekinesis. Darkseid has the ability to manipulate objects and people with his mind, allowing him to control his enemies and move objects with ease. Mind control. Darkseid has the ability to control the minds of others, allowing him to manipulate his enemies and bend them to his will. Reality warping. Darkseid has the ability to alter reality and bend it to his will, making him a formidable opponent for the heroes of the DC Comics universe. These are just a few of the many powers that Darkseid possesses, making him one of the most powerful and dangerous villains in the DC Comics universe. Darkseid. Darkseid is a god-like being with immense physical strength and a wide range of cosmic powers, but he is not invincible. One of his biggest weaknesses is his susceptibility to the anti-life equation, a mathematical formula that has the ability to control the minds of sentient beings. Additionally, Darkseid's immense power and cruelty can sometimes lead to him being betrayed by his own followers, which can weaken his position of power. It's worth noting that these weaknesses can vary greatly depending on the specific story or continuity, and the characters are often portrayed as being highly dangerous and powerful despite their flaws. It's difficult to say which of these villains is the most powerful, as it often depends on the context and the specific story being told. However, if we are comparing their overall power levels, Darkseid is often considered the most powerful of the three. He is a god-like being with immense physical strength and a wide range of cosmic powers, including the ability to fire the Omega Beams, teleport, control minds, and alter reality. These abilities make him a formidable opponent for the heroes of the DC Comics universe, and one of the most dangerous villains in the DC Comics universe. However, it's worth noting that the power levels of these characters can vary greatly depending on the specific story or continuity, and they are all depicted as being highly dangerous and powerful in their own right. It's difficult to say who would win in a confrontation between the Joker, Lex Luthor, and Darkseid, as it would likely depend on the specific circumstances and continuity in which the characters were portrayed. In a physical confrontation, Darkseid would likely have an advantage due to his immense strength and wide range of cosmic powers. However, if the confrontation was more focused on intelligence and cunning, Lex Luthor would likely have an edge due to his high level of intelligence and cunning nature. The Joker's unpredictable and chaotic nature would make it difficult to predict his actions and ultimately make it harder for him to win a confrontation between the three. It's also worth noting that these characters are often depicted as being part of different continuities and storylines within the DC Comics universe, and as such, their relative power levels and abilities can vary greatly depending on the All three of the DC Comics villains you mentioned have been depicted as having families in different storylines and continuities. Here is a brief overview. The Joker. While the Joker's background and family history is often left shrouded in mystery, there have been instances in his comic book history where he has been depicted as having a family. For example, in the graphic novel, Batman, The Killing Joke, it is suggested that the Joker may have had a wife and child in the past, although this is never definitively confirmed. Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor has been depicted as having a family in different storylines and continuities. He is often portrayed as being married and having a son, although the specifics of his family life can vary greatly depending on the continuity. Darkseid. Darkseid is depicted as having a large family in the DC Comics universe, including his son Calabac and his daughter Grail. He also has numerous other relatives and followers, many of whom play prominent roles in the stories involving the character. It's worth noting that the specific details of each character's family life can vary greatly depending on the continuity and storyline, and some versions of these characters may not have a family at all. Out of the Joker, Lex Luthor, and Darkseid, Lex Luthor is often considered to be the most intelligent of the three. Lex Luthor is a highly intelligent and cunning genius, who is often depicted as being one of the smartest individuals in the DC Comics universe. He is a highly successful business magnate, inventor, and scientist, and he often uses his intelligence to further his own goals and schemes. The Joker is also depicted as being highly intelligent and cunning, but his unpredictable and chaotic nature can sometimes undermine his intelligence. Darkseid, on the other hand, is a godlike being with immense physical strength and a wide range of cosmic powers, but he is not always depicted as being highly intelligent. It's worth noting that the character's levels of intelligence can vary greatly depending on the specific story or continuity, and different versions of these characters may have different levels of intelligence. Here are some key moments for each of the three characters you mentioned. The Joker. The Killing Joke. This graphic novel, written by Alan Moore and illustrated by Brian Bolland, is widely considered one of the definitive Joker stories and explores the origins of the character and his relationship with Batman. Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. This classic story by Frank Miller explores an aging Batman coming out of retirement to fight crime once again, and features a memorable showdown between the Dark Knight and the Joker. Death in the Family. This storyline from the late 1980s involves the Joker killing the second Robin, Jason Todd, and serves as a turning point in the character's history. Lex Luthor. The Death of Superman. This landmark storyline from the 1990s involves Lex Luthor teaming up with Doomsday to defeat Superman, ultimately leading to the Man of Steel's death. Superman, Red Sun. This Elseworld story explores an alternate reality where Superman lands in the Soviet Union instead of the United States, and features Lex Luthor as the leader of the American resistance against the Man of Steel. Infinite Crisis. This crossover event from 2005-2006 features Lex Luthor as one of the primary antagonists, as he plots against the heroes of the DC Comics universe and sets the stage for a massive conflict. Darkseid. The Great Darkness Saga. This classic storyline from the early 1980s involves Darkseid and his forces invading the DC Comics universe, leading to a massive showdown between the Lord of Apocalypse and the heroes of the DC Comics universe. Final Crisis. This crossover event from 2008-2009 features Darkseid as the primary antagonist, as he seeks to destroy the DC Comics universe and reshape it in his image. Justice League. The New 52. This storyline from the early 2010s involves Darkseid invading the DC Comics universe and leading the forces of Apocalypse in a war against the Justice League. Of the three villains you mentioned, none of them are typically depicted as having a good heart. The Joker is a maniacal criminal who revels in chaos and destruction. Lex Luthor is a ruthless businessman and scientist who will stop at nothing to achieve his goals, and Darkseid is a god-like being with a brutal, tyrannical personality. However, it's worth noting that these characters are all complex and multifaceted, and there have been instances in their comic book histories where they have shown more nuanced sides to their personalities. For example, the Joker has been portrayed as having a tragic backstory and a twisted sense of humor, while Lex Luthor has been depicted as having a more sympathetic side in some stories. Ultimately, while these characters may have moments where they show a more human side, they are all primarily depicted as villains with evil motivations and a lack of concern for the well-being of others. And there you have it, a comprehensive look at the Joker, Lex Luthor, and Darkseid, three of the most dangerous and unforgettable villains in the DC Comics universe. These characters have captured the imaginations of comic book fans for decades, and their impact on the world of comics is undeniable. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about these iconic characters. If you did, please hit the like button and leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content. Until next time, goodbye.